I don't know what it's like where you live, but here in Vancouver, food is horribly confusing. Sure, some residents eat out of hunger, but many more eat for pleasure or to look rich and sophisticated. Maybe people in your city use social media to fight for democracy. In mine, they mostly use it to brag about what they're eating and how it's probably more delicious than what you're eating. Unfortunately, all this food worship is making me fat. What's even worse is I'm starting to think there's no consensus as to what healthy eating actually means. There's definitely no shortage of options. There's a perennial war on fat, the vegans mobilized by ethical dilemmas and environmental concerns, the pro-protein contingent, the push for local and organic, the reasonably new fight against wheat, and the good old-fashioned all-candy diet. I tried them all. I even started dating vegetarians for health benefits, but I don't think it's sustainable.
You kids, you eat what is set before you and like it.
One thing I keep hearing is to stop worrying and just start eating real food. You know, the kinds of meals Mom and Dad used to make. Then again, the ones giving this advice have never met my parents. My beloved Polish family dinners just aren't what they used to be, thanks to this man. His theory? The consumption of large quantities of saturated fats, along with a drastic reduction of carbohydrates, guarantees ideal bodily functioning and good health. In a nutshell, that means up to 200 grams of fat per day, some 3 to 5 times the daily maximum recommended by food authorities. Think bone marrow soups, glasses of whipping cream, egg yolk omelets, and just about everything cooked in lard.
Nie czuję się dużego głodu, nie czuję się pragnienia takiego dużego jak na innej diecie.
No my jesteśmy na tej diecie około 10 lat i zdecydowanie poprawiło nam zdrowie. To jest najważniejsze.
I dietetycy mówią, że warzywa i owoce są najważniejsze, a nie tłuszcz.
Te zalecenia, jak widać, na co dzień tych wielkich naukowców nie skutkują. Coraz więcej wszyscy ludzie chorują. Czemu takie potworności są na ulicach? Ludzie po 200-300 kilo ważą, ataki serca i bez przerwy coś się dzieje i proszki wszyscy jedzą.
Ja mam taką teorię, że ta dieta wasza jest oparta na patriotyzmie, a nie na nauce. Co wy na to?
O, nie zgodzę się. Nie zgodzę się, bo jeżeli doktor Kwaśniewski nie byłby Polakiem, byłby Amerykaninem czy Holendrem, wszystko jedno z jakiego narodu, a napisałby właśnie taką książkę, to też bym poszła za tą książką.
I ask about old country patriotism because we've been in Canada 20 years and the folks have not integrated well. All their friends are Polish, most of the books and media they consume are Polish, even their favorite pope is Polish. They feel a constant longing for Poland, but not the Poland I remember, this shitty place ruined by war and corruption and greed, but the great kingdom of Poland that once was, and could still have been today, had the world not fucked it over. Their words, not mine.
I no szczególnie RAF, który właściwie dzięki pilotom polskim Londyn został ocalony i Anglia w tej wojnie powietrznej. No niestety nieuznany przez Brytyjczyków, ponieważ Polska została zdradzona, powiedziałbym.
In light of these sorts of rants, I've got a theory that had a John Smith written these books, we wouldn't be in this mess. But instead it was penned by Dr. Jan Kwaśniewski, a good old boy from Ciechocinek. So how could he possibly be wrong? I wonder what a non-Polish dietitian would think about this fat diet.
Lori, you read the book. Do you think this crazy Polish doctor is trying to kill my parents?
Is he trying to kill them? I'm sure he has good intentions, but I would be worried that they're not getting a balanced diet. They don't have any fibers in their diet, or a very low amount. And if you look at rates of colorectal cancer, they are increased from people that have very low fiber diets. The vitamins and minerals and plant nutrients we get from the fruits and vegetables have fiber in them. And so after we've digested all the great stuff, it actually helps move all the other toxins and unwanted materials out of our body.
Is there any way to check for colorectal cancer?
There's a procedure called a colonoscopy that takes a scope with a little camera on it, and you put it up the doctor puts it up your bottom and checks to see if there's any type of cancerous polyps that are growing.
Tak, bardzo nieprzyjemne badanie, szczególnie dla mężczyzn.
Niestety miałam takie badanie robione. Nic takiego nie było. Wszystko jest piękne, jest czyste, nic się nie dzieje.
Dlaczego, jeżeli ja się dobrze czuję, jestem wysportowany, pracuję i tak dalej, pozytywnie myślę, dlaczego mam szukać choroby u siebie, jeżeli nie mam żadnych symptomów?
If they feel better than they did before, there's a lot of times there's not anything that a person can do. Their evidence is, I feel better than I did before. You're probably the last person that they're going to listen to. As a dietitian, my parents don't listen to me about food either.
And so I eat like my parents do. At least every other Sunday. To be honest, it tastes pretty good. And if it kills me, well, maybe this film could be evidence of some kind.
This is Poland, the country with 1,000-years-old tradition. And these buildings and monuments in which that tradition is crystallized are in Warsaw, capital of Poland during the last 300 years, and center of resistance against foreign invasions for centuries before that.